Emergency response workers at Hazelwood Power Station are fighting for respect and a decent pay packet as they go about protecting workers in Victoria's second largest power generating facility. These CFMEU members are the backbone of Hazelwood's emergency response team. The members are striking after their employer has refused to adequately address the issue of their pay being 37% lower than workers doing equivalent jobs at the other two power stations.
What are you going for with your new EBA?
We want fair pay. You know what I mean? We want what the other people are getting at the other power stations. You know, they obviously were in our boat. You know, a couple of years ago, they went out and fought for it. They didn't have to do what we did. The other power stations said, you know, basically as much as I can gather, was that okay, we see your point, and they got their pay rises. But we've been out here. I think we're going into our 7th week now, and the best that they can do for us is offer us 4%, and I think the last offer, which expired, was for the 4% still, and a $2,000 sign-on. So once you're taking it, $2,000, it's gone. You know.
The emergency services staff at Hazelwood are the vital first response team for fire, medical and security incidents before the CFA, police and other organisations can arrive.
They base our rate on a security guard, whereas we're a lot more than that. We're emergency service officers. We have to, if there's a fire, we're the first to attend it. And there's probably, on average, anywhere from the minimum time someone to get here be about 15 minutes up to half an hour, depending on what they're doing, because the fire brigade come, and then obviously being a power station, you're going to need more than 1 or 2 trucks which are permanently manned. You're going to need volunteers to come in and assist, you know what I mean, like from the CFA. And they're at work themselves, or they're not permanently at the station, so they take a little bit of time to get here. And the same with the ambulance. They're permanent, of course, but we have to turn out to the emergency, whatever it may be, the first aid emergency, deal with the situation until the ambulance arrives, and they are busy dealing with the community at the same time. Their resources are also stretched, I'm told, so we just have to deal with it until they arrive, and then they will take over and do what they need to do.
Meanwhile, replacement contract workers have been brought into the site, which is of great concern to many people.
We've got great concerns about what's going on out there, because over recent years, you know, we've had two of our members killed in the power industry, and you know, anything that puts their occupational health and safety or rescue, if they get into difficulties out in them jobs, at risk, we are very, very concerned about.
I seriously think you've got to think about the qualifications and experience these people have. You can go off and get your driver's licence right in a day. If you can pass that course, but how good are you? Even the RTA or Vic Roads know that you need experience, and they're asking for that sort of proof. These people don't have that experience. They're being trained currently. They're probably on a training course right now to try and get them up to standard, you know what I mean? But they don't have the experience. I've only been here about 10, 11 years. Before that I worked at a hospital, so I'd seen a lot of trauma, but it still took me 3 years to even think that I could handle anything here. Okay. And we're talking 3 years of, you know, following people around. What do I do next? How do I deal with this? Because it's so varied and so different. I've got to know that any one of these guys, if I walk through that door, I don't get a chance to look behind me. I just got to know that they're coming through behind me. You know, it's just something you've got to know.
Most of the guys here have been in St John's Ambulance or Red Cross or CFA, Lifesavers. They're doing this job because they want to do it, as opposed to the people that are filling in for us. It's just an income for them. It's money. They're probably not mentally prepared for what they've got themselves into.
Yeah. And
getting back to the other power stations, they've got more people on the other power stations. This is the oldest power station.
There's more people, and it's the biggest.
Yeah, and we've got more employees here than the other power stations. Yet we've got fewer people here to handle, you know, an emergency.
What's your relationships like with other employees around the plant? Do you have strong...
Very good. Yes, very good, actually.
Yeah.
It shows by the support in the morning. There'll be, you know, 100 people out here for a barbecue this afternoon.
As the standoff enters its 7th week, the striking workers have been boosted by financial contributions and other support from their workmates inside.
After you've had contact with these people for 4 or 5 years and they've come in when they crushed their finger, because they're working a dangerous job in there, these blokes.
Yeah.
They've crushed their finger, they've cut something, they've hurt themselves, they've sprained their ankle, they've come down a staircase and had a trip. You know what I mean? It happens. This is an industrial site. A lot of if you take a shot of that, you'll see a lot of staircases, a lot of walkways, a lot of them are skinny. They're old system from the power station. Right, they do get injured. And after they've come in and they've dealt with us for a while, they realise that these people can do the job and they have a lot of faith in us. So they actually want to see us back in there because they trust if anything goes wrong, we're going to put in 100% for these blokes.
Which is important to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's everybody here puts in 100%. I know everyone here, if we're running into anything, they'll be straight behind me. Or I'll behind them.
I mean, those guys are, they work all sorts of hours, to earn that money, 24/7. Them guys, and they're on standby, if there's an emergency, if somebody gets trapped in some part of the power station, they are the first guys to respond, and obviously, as we all know, when there's an accident, seconds count, not minutes, seconds count, and, they've got a big responsibility, and, to be paid the way they are is an absolute joke.
Okay, so you have a Christmas tree here. Are you really expecting to be here till Christmas?
I'm not expecting to be here till Christmas, but if that's what it takes, that's what's going to happen.
And you guys?
Yep, we're in for the long haul.
You're in for the long haul?